Willie syndrome.
So much.
2 Kings 17:14. But they would not listen and were as stiff-necked as their fathers, who did not trust in the Lord their God. Who is the Lord their God? The first edition of the English Bible, commonly known as the King James Version, was printed in 1611. King James VI, the Knight of Great Britain, was a Christian, had sponsored the project, and the translators appropriately dedicated the new Bible to him. At this point in his own personal life, King James had already been involved in a love affair with one man, the Duke of Lennox, which provoked a rebellion in Scotland. His current lover in England was a young man whose special relationship with the king would earn him the earldom of Somerset. By 1615, however, Somerset's fortunes declined and James succeeded in luring his most famous lover, George Villiers, later the Duke of Buckingham, into bed. What are we to make of these relationships between King James and his so-called favorites? Many earlier historians treated the subject with shock, disdain, and denial. Only recently has the subject been treated more seriously and fairly by scholars such as Caroline Bingham, Jonathan Goldberg. Roger Lockyer, please answer these questions for yourself. Was this to control a people mindset? Was King James an honest man? Did King James change words or added words in the Bible? Did King James love the people of God? Was the Bible stolen from the slaves? Did he know John Hawkins? Do you trust King James? How old is the Bible? Who is God? Was this a plan to put a people in slavery? Who is the mystery God? What is a spirit? Who is the devil? Who is Satan? Who is man? Study, Google. King James was married and also had a mistress, and had 3 male lovers, and there's more. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also reject you as my priests. Because you have ignored the law of your God, I also will ignore your children. Deuteronomy 9:13. And the Lord said to me, I have seen this people, and they are a stiff-necked people indeed. Who is this people? Deuteronomy 10:16. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. Who is this is referring to? Is it black people? God is always talking about a people who need to be saved because they have no knowledge of who they are, all through the Bible. Why do this people need to be saved? Think about it. He's talking about the walking dead, mentally, not physically.
That was a lot. Hello, my name is Sophia Shabazz. I'm your goddess. And what I want to talk about today is King James. But first, I want to tell you a little story. The story I'm going to tell you is about my mother. I lost my mother when I was 17 years old, and I was really sick when I was a little girl. I stayed sick all the time. I was in and out the hospital with kidney problems. And so one day I was in her bedroom. I said, Mom, I don't want to be sick anymore. Why do I have to talk to Jesus to get to God? I need to talk to God right now because I want to heal. I don't want to go through Jesus to talk to God. He might take too long to answer. And I was a little girl. And my mom said, baby, I don't know. Well, I guess you're just going to have to talk to God. Just talk to God. So I did. And I was healed. So what I didn't know was I was talking with myself because I kept asking for healness. Just heal me, God, heal me, God, heal me, God. And I got healed. I didn't talk to Jesus. I talked to God. And that was within me, myself. I explained that all through the videos. Don't get your pants all twisted and saying she crazy or whatever. Just take the time out and hear me through before you try to click off. But I did. I got healed. And I've been okay since. The doctor told me that I wasn't going to be able to have any kids. He told me that I wasn't going to have any kids. I had 1 kid, then 2 kids. I was doing the most. Then I had 3 kids. I had 3 babies. So sometimes the doctor don't know what they're talking about. I mean, you know, some of them do. All the doctors does is listen to you. They telling how you feel. You tell them how you feel. They writing everything down. And they diagnosing what you can diagnose for yourself. Most of the time it is what we eating and what we putting in our system, or how we thinking. So we don't need to, we need to start thinking a little bit more positive instead of negative, because negative will cause a lot of illness in your body. And eating some very healthy foods cause a lot of illness in your body. Vitamins are good for you too. We're going to talk about that another time, how to eat to live. But right now I'm going to talk about King James. So that's the story I had to tell you. So I went on this quest of manifesting stuff for myself, learning kind of 10, 11 years old when I talked to my mom and I was calling on this God and I wanted to see this God. I got to see your face, and I look in the mirror, where is you, God? I want to see you. And I just kept reading, and then I manifested my kid's father, which was in a Nation of Islam at the time. But don't get your pants twisted. Don't get your pants twisted. Don't get them twisted, because we're just talking here. I'm talking about my life. And I'm going to leave that part alone. But anyway, he got me into looking more deeper into myself. And I started to, even though we wasn't together that long. But I could continue the quest of who I am and what I'm here for. And I fought it. I really fought it. But all the time is always in the back of my mind. Sometimes always in the front of my mind. But I just, I react on some things and I didn't react on something. You know how you do that, So anyway, I want to say a little quote, because I'm talking a little too much. Because I'm getting off the subject. It ain't about me. It's about King James. Not Rick James, King James. I tickle my own self sometimes. But anyway, I want to read a quote. And I want you to think about this quote. And it's a very powerful quote. Don't get your pants twisted. Because the quote comes from Elijah Muhammad. And the quote, everything that attracts your attention is for seeking wisdom, not games or play. Everything that's seeking your attention. Okay? Everything that's seeking your attention is for wisdom. So, we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to leave that all alone, and we're going to go ahead, and I want you to think about that. We're going to talk about King James. But there was a lot. King James was doing the most. That boy was doing the most. That English, Scotland, British, all of that was doing the most. He did too much. He had a wife. He had a mistress. He had lovers after lovers after lovers. They had a list of lovers that he had. What I was reading, they got books out about his lifestyle. And why was he wanted to translate the Bible? He had an agenda. He had an agenda. They took the Bible, and actually, it was already religion, so they just needed the Bible to be translated. And so when they translated the Bible, when he translated about it, he got a group of men and translated about it. No telling what they was doing behind closed doors, because we see what his lifestyle was, because they said that he loved young men. Read it for yourself. Google it. Go buy the books. It's written. It's really written. So anyway, he was doing he was just doing the most. So all the questions that I had asked during the video before I came on, it's something to think about. A stiff-necked people. Tongue twisted. Are you one of those people? Because I know it's a lot of us out there. We just don't want to listen. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You can't take my guy from me. Nobody is trying to do that. That's not what I'm here for. I just want to open your eyes of what was going on before you were born. And those things was happening. That's why we got in slavery and we was in trichology. And I'm going to talk about Yakub's one day, the father of the Caucasians. Going to talk about that. But right now we back to King James. So do you think he was honest man? Truthful man? Answer those questions to yourself. Do you trust him? That why did the gods put in the Bible at the end of the books, whatever is written in this Bible, that they would take it away or add in, that he would come and put a curse on their land? Why was that said? Because the gods are very smarter, way smart than any man that's trying to translate the Bible, because they had an agenda to put people in slavery. And they did it. And we're the results of it. And we're stiff-necked people because we don't want to listen to them. We don't know our mother tongue. We don't know actually where we came from. We just really just know that we was in slavery. Before that, we just knew we came from Africa and Asia. People only think that we came from Africa. We also came from Asia. We was also sold from there. So I just want you guys to Google it. You goddesses and gods, Google King James and look at it. I don't want you to get yourself, all twisted up. You notice there's no last names in the Bible? No last names in the Bible. I haven't, I be going like, now why is there's no last names in the Bible? Everybody got first name, and then you be going like, there's a Elijah there, and then there's a Eli. Yeah, I don't know. It's then you got a Silas in there. Then you got a Sila. I mean, come on, Silas. Come on. Now you see, I know you see the beginning of my video where I showed these men, and this is where I learned a lot of my information from. And they was very, very, very wise men that studied the black man, study the white man, study the Indian man, study the Chinese man, study them all. Because we are the original man, the Asiatic black. Link underneath this, and for you to get on and join the Afro-Descendant Nation. And there's a telephone number that I'm gonna put on here, and we are going for reparation. Yes, we are a nation, so we're going for reparation. And all of this stuff that I'm telling you is all written in the Bible. This is supposed to happen. We are black people. We got to wake up. I mean, when it's talking about the Walking Dead, stiff-necked people, that would be us. That would be us. So just think about it. Do the tape all over again. Check the tape out. I'm going to say peace out. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining my channel, and I hope you enjoy the future ones, because you're going to learn something. And I'm going to ask you to look it up. Don't take my word for it, but at least try to find the truth and quit believing in just what somebody done told you because your mother told you, your grandmother told you, and so on and so forth, and then it goes back to slavery. What was you before you came over here and you had your own language and you had a different name and you had your mother tongue? And I'm going to say one thing. Notice that there's no last name in the Bible. Think about that. I'm going to say assalamu alaikum, peace and love. Don't be scared, because